Hello, you're watching Feedbackula, and because Dishonored is out this week, today's episode is all about stealth, as you may have guessed from the fact Danny is trying to sneak up on me by wearing a green t-shirt. Danny, you know that only makes you invisible to the camera and that you have to cover your whole body, right? Not just your head? Oh good, we're solving the problem with stabbing. Again. So then, Dishonored is out. Well, in the States anyway. It's been reviewed very highly and you all seem very excited about it indeed.
Fap, fap, fap. Gotta get my hands on this sweet ass.
Told you. And with more people looking at Dishonored on the site as the wait finally ends, a lot of our users have been watching Jess's piece from last month on the evolution of stealth. If you haven't seen it, we're deeply offended. We forgive you though, so here's a brief rundown. Stealth games, they used to be super stealthy, like Thief and Splinter Cell and Metal Gear Solid. Now, yeah, not so much. What was in many cases the core idea driving a game is nowadays more commonly represented as an optional style of play, as publishers bend over backwards to put the player in control, presumably in an attempt to stop bands of entitled angry people turning up at their doors with pitchforks. Grrr! Why can't I just tranquilize the boss? Fire the village! Jess didn't actually say that last bit. Anyway, what you can take away from the video is that stealth is less of a core mechanic these days, but is certainly still popular. If you're still intrigued, follow the link on screen now to watch the full video. Anyway, faced with the question of what the future of gaming has in store for stealth, you lot admirably stepped up and gave us your thoughts.
Stealth is epic! End of story. XD!
I just don't like the stress that stealth makes you endure.
By making stealth just an option means that the AI is dumbed down and the stealth gameplay has no consequence. Hey, why not also put a nuclear bomb option in games? You know, just as an option in case someone doesn't want to play it as a shooter. In fact, all games should have a god mode too. You want choices? Then give them all the choices. Bracket sarcasm.
Yes, I love having the option to sneak. Having to sneak might suck though. It's about giving the option, so in case you fail your sneak, you aren't punishing the gamer with a game over.
This video is propaganda, so we stop complaining about games that are not stealth only.
Steady now, Australians have only just gained an 18 rating for video games. I hardly think they're being bribed to make propaganda just yet. I am though. Join the Navy, it's great and you'll have a fantastic time on the high seas. Join, 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 go, go, go!
Yes, you can sail the 7 seas. Yes, you can put your mind at ease. Come on, people, and make a stand.
So anyway, it seems some like their stealth the way it is now, whereas others seem firmly convinced stealth has been watered down as a gameplay mechanic, and that's a bad thing. Like this commenter, for instance, who talked quite literally about dilution.
It's really a shame that game genres end up suffering from the whiskey and coke effect. Single malt is good, but coke sells loads, so let's mix the two, and that way we'll sell more whiskey. The first Splinter Cell was a breath of fresh air. To give Sam Fisher a shotgun is ludicrous.
Now you'll doubtless have noticed Blighter, as well as being a mixologist, has a thing or two to say about Splinter Cell, which in fact a lot of you referenced as a shiny example of stealth gameplay, at least in the early days.
I gave up on Splinter Cell when Sam became ultra-violent, such as smashing faces into toilets. I lost respect for him as a character that I could identify with. The last good Splinter Cell was Chaos Theory.
I really enjoyed Splinter Cell Conviction, but I loved Splinter Cell Chaos Theory. If I wanted to play an action game, there are plenty of other ones I can go and play. The reason I played Splinter Cell was because it had stealthy ninja things that other games didn't have. Now it's just bollocks. Lame.
I will never get over how they slaughtered Splinter Cell by turning it into an action game. They could have just started developing a new series inspired by Splinter Cell, but instead they chose to mutilate it to an unrecognisable state and ruin it for all us true Splinter Cell fans. That kind of total makeover is not evolution, it's a state of decay and should be made illegal.
Shame on everyone who worked on the last Splinter Cell. They ruined the game. It's like the games don't have a soul, an iconic characteristic. It's like games not built around the stories or experiences that they portray, but instead they are built around the hugest market possible. Abundance in the games industry is making the publishers greedy. It's disgusting.
Yeah, shame on you, shame! Steady as she goes, Captain Hyperbole. So hopefully we can all agree stealth games are growing less pure nowadays in terms of the gameplay experience. But that said, it's not exactly as if this trend is specific to the stealth genre alone, as Dreamagus points out.
It's not just happening to stealth. Look at Dead Space 3.
Indeed, the lines between genres appear to be blurring, but why is it happening, and is it a good thing?
I'll tell you why stealth games are changing their style of gameplay. It's because of all the immature 12 and 10-year-olds who are plaguing the gaming community, who consider a game that requires thinking and patience boring and think that over-milked shitty Hollywood action-style shooter games that require no brains at all cool.
I love Deus Ex because of the hybridization. Sometimes I want to run and gun, and other times I just want to sneak around. Usually as I play a game with those options, I end up doing both. As a gamer, I like having options inside the games I play.
I think people need to calm down. Stealth games aren't going anywhere. Just because they are making it possible to play in other wars other than stealth, it doesn't mean it's either less stealthy or that we're losing a genre.
Those that complaining about today's games not being stealthy enough are succumbing to good old days syndrome. This distinction between hybrid and pure stealth games is almost entirely artificial. The stealth mechanics in games like Deus Ex Human Revolution are just as complex and just as viable as those in Thief and the first Splinter Cell. There really isn't that much more combat, just more polish to what's there. However, I must admit that while stealth games combat has improved, their sneaking mechanics have stagnated. I love having the option to run and gun once in a while, but I'd also love to see what a developer could do if it focused exclusively on stealth.
I would say the stealth games are now better than ever. Now they give you a choice, go stealth or go bang bang, and just for you can run around and shot the whole game, and it's much easier to do so, don't mean you have to. Which seems to be the problem of many people. Just for they can run around and shot means they try to stealth 1 to 3 times and fails, then say the game has made its stealth mechanics bad.
Now, you could argue genres blending together and letting you choose go stealth or go bang bang is a good thing for the player. It gives them more choice, and it's a good thing for the publisher as it gives them a broader appeal. In fact, this may actually go some way as to explaining why it's been happening. However, if a game gets spread too thin, it runs the risk of seeming a bit schizophrenic and getting away from the things that drew people into that franchise in the beginning. I'd give you an example, but I'm not sure I can think of one right now.
Resident Evil 6.
Ah yes, that'll do. So is the trend a good thing or a bad thing, and how far will it go? That's really a matter of personal opinion, so why don't you fill in the blanks in a comment, tweet or email. All the details are on screen now, and with that it's time for me to get off your screen. Hope you enjoyed the episode. Sorry if you didn't, let me know either way. Bye for now. Again.
That was really good, except just by chance, the angle that he's held.
Oh, it's invisible!
Invisiknife.
Sorry. God, it looks way worse.